Have you ever tried to make a secret language, one that only you and your best friends can understand? That is what we will be doing in this mini lesson. The idea is to come up with a code that is easy for your friends to read, but difficult for others. That's not easy to do, but luckily, mathematics can be of help here. Mathematics is about shapes and numbers, and if we use shapes and numbers in a clever way, we can indeed turn messages into code. The fancy word for this is encryption. And of course, we will also have to learn how to decrypt messages from our friends, how to turn them back into normal English. Let's start with a message we want to encrypt. Math is so much fun. I added underscores here because we want to make clear where the spaces are. Now the trick is this. Our sentence has 20 characters. That means we can fit it into a rectangle of 4 by 5. We will just write from left to right, like this. M-A-T-H underscore, then the next 5 characters, then the next 5, and then the last 5. Now we are going to write this same message in a new rectangle, but now instead of starting with the rows from left to right, we start with the columns, like this. M-A-T-H underscore, and the next 5 characters, and the next 5, and the next 5. And finally, we read this new table row by row. So M-I underscore underscore ASMF and so on. And this is our message in code. And I hope you agree it's quite hard to read this if you don't know how. So if you understand this, can you try to encrypt this message in the same way? I like math. It has 12 characters, so it fits into a 3 by 4 rectangle. I'll give you 3 letters of the new rectangle. And now is a good moment to pause the video to see if you can figure out what the message will be. So we can fill up the new rectangle like this. And if we read this row by row, we get this message. And that is our message in code. Now, of course, we also want to be able to read a message that our friend sends us. To read a message, we're going to put it in a rectangle as well. And we need to know how wide that rectangle is. So maybe my friends and I have agreed that we will always use rectangles that are 4 letters wide. So the key is 4. And then I get this message from them. Well, I start by just reading it from left to right. But after 4 letters, we start a new row. And so on. So we get this rectangle. And now we just read this column by column. And the message becomes clear immediately. Math is so much fun. So finally, let's see if you can also decrypt messages like this. So can you read this message, for instance? I've given you the first part of the rectangle. It is 3 letters wide, because that is the key. And I also have 2 other messages for you to try from scratch, using your own suitable rectangle. And solutions will follow in a few seconds, so pause the video to figure it out for yourself. So for the first, we fill the rectangle like this, reading this message from left to right and starting a new line every 3 letters. Now we read this column by column, and it reads, I can read this. The second rectangle is 5 letters wide, so we will fill it up like this, just row by row. And then read this column by column. This is very useful. And the last one is 2 letters wide, so we will fill it like this. And then read column by column. I want to try it. And of course, I hope you will try this and maybe even come up with your own clever ways to use numbers, shapes, or other mathematical tricks to make a secret language. I hope you at least enjoyed this trick. And thank you for watching.